Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Nomad, The World is My Beat. I'm journalist Lisa Foreman, and I'm taking you around the world with me in my suitcase. This week's episode is called Nomad, The World is My Pool. I grew up on a beach in Whitstable, Kent. In fact, I lived so close to the sea that instead of watching television each night after school like many other children in my class, I watched the waves. And in the summer, even though we didn't have a lot of sunshine back in those days, I spent a lot of time splashing about in the water, swimming, chasing jellyfish and crabs and playing tennis. This is my childhood house. This is the tiny street where cars just about get to. And as you can see, I grew up literally on the beach. I believe that it's the growing up on the beach in Whitstable that gave birth to the mermaid in me. And when I say the mermaid in me, it's that I pretty much swim every single day of the year. It would take some sort of total logistical nightmare for me not to swim on any given day. And given that I spend at least 6 months a year living out of a suitcase, that takes quite a lot of planning and quite a lot of research and quite a lot of time management. But frankly, even if I manage, as I did today here in Paris at the Piscine Pontoise, to get in 10 laps of a 33-metre pool before dashing off to my next appointment, it wakes me up, it gives me energy for life, it completely changes my outlook and my feeling about the day and going about it. So I'm a water babe, there's no question about it. In putting together some of these episodes, I'm doing new research, but I'm also going through my archives on my phone. Thank you, Apple and iCloud. And when I typed in swimming pool into my iPhotos application, so many memories came flooding back. And not only memories of, oh, that was a nice pool, or that was a great lake to swim in, but actually just some of the adventures and the planning involved. For example, you'll see images in this episode of an epic train trip through scenic Switzerland. And we had a stop somewhere near a lake, and while other people went off to check out, I don't know, the local bakery or whatever else there was in the middle of nowhere, I ventured down to a lake which was absolutely freezing and plunged in for a little while and made friends with a fellow passenger who was taking photographs. There are images here from Thailand. I was on Death Railway and similarly couldn't resist splashing about in a pond-sized pool that I found at the end of a trail. Boat trips around lakes in Austria to visit historic baths that you can see on stilts that go into the lake. Iceland, a swimmer's heaven. Reykjavik has a huge number of brilliant swimming pools with thermal water on top of the Blue Lagoon, which you can also see photographs of here with me with my face covered in mud. Now, I was doing a slow trip from Paris to Los Angeles, which took me through Denmark, Iceland, Canada to LA, but I tried to stop off en route at some of the places that I've spent many years flying over from LA to Europe. There are thousands of other examples in here. Last year I was lucky enough for my birthday to stay at the Hotel Molitor in Paris, which is built around a historic Art Deco pool, which was the place to be in the 20s and 30s in Paris. And it's the place that the modern day bikini was launched. I was so excited to stay in Accor's Hotel, which has a brilliant view, all the rooms have a brilliant view of the pool, that I left my curtains open at night. I get up at night, I'm not a good sleeper, and I was just so excited to see that pool waiting to jump into at 7 o'clock every morning. I suppose if I could buy the place, that would be my ideal swimming pool home. In Paris, public pools, there are around 38 or 39 public swimming pools that you can access for a monthly pass, or a 3-monthly pass rather, of around €40. It's incredible value. Now, once upon a time, I would have said that I couldn't spend half as much time as I do today in Paris because the pools were so cruddy. But actually, in the last decade, there's been a revolution. The French built Piscine Josephine Baker, which is a fantastic floating swimming pool on the Seine with a glass roof. It's pretty cool. And best of all, you'll see some images here from Piscine Pontoise with its gorgeous yellow walls and turquoise waters. It's an Art Deco gem that the French just spent 5 years renovating. It's gorgeous, but what's really brilliant is that they let you change in the cabins. And I have to say, swimming in Paris is pretty stressful. There's a lot of people. And I just love having that cabin and having 5 or 10 minutes to myself to organise my stuff and the rest of my belongings. And the people are just fantastic. Equally up in the 19th arrondissement, an architecture firm was hired to restore Piscine Pylon, another Art Deco gem, and add a contemporary wing with jets and a jacuzzi. And I'm always looking for good jets and good jacuzzis, and frankly, for €3 for a single entry, you couldn't do better. It rivals private clubs because it has really powerful jets and great design. So you'll see some other public swimming pools in this episode. There's the London Fields, an outdoor pool in London. There are the swimming ponds in Hyde Park, which allow you to swim in nature in the middle of a city. Absolutely brilliant experience. In Los Angeles, my home pool was the Lowe's Santa Monica, and I happened to live next door. I would pad over in the morning in my pajamas with my swim stuff on underneath, jump in, do a swim, pad back home soaking wet and have a shower and get on with my day. That was heaven. There are all sorts of other experiences and plans that I've had to come up with to incorporate swimming into a busy schedule. In London, I belonged to the Virgin clubs, which really, for health clubs and sports clubs, I've never seen a club with a better range of swimming facilities. It has incredible places to hang out and swim, like its Canary Wharf pool is like a top luxury club, for example. A woman's work is never done. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Ba ba da 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 da. On the road, especially in Marrakesh, I get to swim in what are often actually freezing cold swimming pools. The Moroccans don't always heat their pools, and that also goes for top hotels. My favourite place to swim in Marrakesh is actually the Movenpick Hotel. It's just a perfectly heated pool. Everyone's lovely. They bring you a towel. They let you chill out for the day. There's hardly anyone in the water. You'll see images here also of the Park Hyatt, which recently opened in the Palmeraie with its gorgeous outdoor and indoor pools. I mean, La Mamounia is a legendary hotel, and also its swimming pool isn't bad, but you can no longer get a day pass, so you have to have a room. I know these sorts of things, which pools you can go to with a day pass or without, which pools you can crash. Sometimes you have to. In fact, I was in Dakhla in 2024 for Christmas, and I was desperate for a Christmas Day swim. The sea defeated me, and finally I just had to wander in like a hotel guest and crash a swimming pool in this gorgeous hotel, which was a tiny hotel. I don't quite know how I got away with it, but it's probably because I just had on a bikini and not a lot on over the top, so I could just chuck off my stuff and get in the water, but I was desperate. And you'll also see the Hotel Nature outside's refillable pool, and the owner speaking about the logistics and the boiler room they built to create a swimming pool that opened last year in Austria, in which the water empties from the pool if nobody's in it for, I think it's 15 minutes, and it empties if it's like not peak time for the pool, and you can press a button and it refills, and the water goes underneath the pool into a boiler room, and Daniel explains how that works there.
Two-thirds of the time in the day, the water is isolated in the tank,
Yeah.
so we don't lose almost no energy.
Okay. And how did you learn about this technology, and who is it that creates this technology?
We developed it together with the pool developer.
Yeah.
So it was our idea, and then it was it's not common to build a pool like that.
No. And as I understand it, and as I can see here, you are creating a new spa experience here in Australia, and I had a tour yesterday of your luxuriously spacious new facilities in here, which I believe are 1,000 square meters.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are the benefits of this water or this facility here?
There are a lot of benefits in terms of the skin, the breathing, the circulation, the heart diseases and so on.
Last year I rerouted my entire February trip to go and check out that pool, and I really came to rest there. They also had a Defarega healing water thermal pools inside. Great food, great people, great room. I have many other adventures that I could share with you. Japan, being embraced by all the old ladies at a water aerobics session where I was desperate for a swim but they were bopping about. Driving around Iceland with somebody I didn't know that I met on a boat that was taking me to Reykjavik, and getting to check out some of the gorgeous thermal spas on the road. If you're not a swimmer, obviously there are, well, I'm going to recommend some of the positive aspects, some of the many positive aspects. It's just, for me, it's sort of like a mini rebirth every morning. It's that doing those laps, and you don't have to be going fast, just pushes energy through my body. I come out feeling completely different. If you have a hot and cold shower afterwards, alternating between hot and cold water, I've recently taken to carrying a pair of flippers with me everywhere I go in my bag. I just needed something slightly different. Swimming with flippers is heavenly. Now, some people say to me, how do you find time? It's that I hurtle to the pool and I'm in the water in a nanosecond, and I'm through the water as fast as I possibly can, and I'm out the door as fast as I possibly can. If I can do that in 30 minutes, I can have a swim and get in and out in 30 minutes if I'm forced to. And for me, having a 10-minute swim is so much better than not. And also, if anyone has sleep issues, I'm really fidgety at night. If I've had a swim, it calms me down a lot. And as I am so fidgety at night, I'm not usually very well rested when I wake up, and having a swim revives me. So there are many, many benefits. The only thing I would say that I find questionable with swimming pools is that, okay, so in France, for example, if you're in the social security welfare system, you can swim for free, and that's absolutely wonderful. And I believe that's the same in Britain. For a brief period, I had a pass that allowed me to swim in some of the fantastic restored pools in the middle of London. But I just feel like swimming is one of those things. It should be free for everybody. We do live in a world in which obesity is a problem amongst kids. We lead a more sedentary life. We're all tempted every day with sugary delights and cakes, sweets and crisps, you name it. And I just, if I had a prayer for the world, there'd be many prayers for the world at this point, especially for peace in Gaza. But I wish everybody could just have access to swimming, because sometimes it's really expensive. For example, if you show up at a British pool and you don't have any discount, you're probably going to pay like £6 to go for a swim. It's just like outrageously unaffordable. And that's the same of many pools in France. If you show up in Cannes, where I often work at the film festival, and go to the local pool, you'll pay €6. Who can afford that? Not everybody. Now, I sometimes will blow a fortune to swim, because I just have to swim, and I'm on the road, and I do care. I'm probably going to starve for a week. I'm a hand-to-mouth reporter, but I'll do it. A recent example of that is I was in The Hague on a trip looking at their great selection of art masterpieces recently, and I had a short window to swim. I asked a colleague where to go. He sent me to a private club, and I paid €41. And I actually could have, for that day pass that I had to purchase, have stayed all day, but I didn't have time. So I swam 41 minutes to make sure it was €1 a minute. And then I had a great time in their gorgeous hot tub. There were other examples like that. I think I plonked down €50 once to swim at La Mamunia. The same for the Principe in Milan. But it just gives me so much joy. So that's definitely my present to myself if I can afford it. And if I need to on the road, I'll do it. Same in Tokyo. I used to have to spend a lot of money to swim daily at the pool that was attached to, for example, the film festival hotel. Gorgeous experience though. So I cannot recommend swimming enough.